So this portion of the symposium is community action points, and we ask our organizations to come up and give 2 to 3 minutes, I will cut you off, to talk about what's next. We've learned a lot about and gone over the issues that are going on in these communities and in South Florida. What's next, either for your organization or for your community, or what you think people can do that are here in the audience. Whoever would like to come up first. Or if you guys want to stay seated, I can bring it to you, but.
We're deciding who gets 2 minutes first.
Okay.
Go for it, buddy. I'll take all of them. If you let me, I will.
Okay. You know, it was great to hear the kids talk about hope, because there is hope. So when you're looking at the state of Florida plans for all of this to be underwater by 2060, so the initiative is, what can you do to slow that down? Too many times communities aren't getting enough funding for their climate resilience. How can these communities that have spoken today get the resources they need? You need to get those resources to those communities. I think that's the message. Get the resources to those communities so that they can work on their climate resilience and climate adaptation. Miami-Dade County needs to quit talking about climate resilience, but actually doing initiatives for climate resilience. Quit talking about it, but they need to do it. Yes, they got all this funding, but yes, studies are important, but actions speak louder than words. They need to start doing the work. As the Miccosukis, we're being proactive. By 2060, water is going to be all the way up to Southwest 8th Street, Tamiami Trail. We have made the decision. We are not going anywhere. We've lived through wars. We're still here. We're not moving anywhere. So we're already working on what is that going to look like for us to be in place. Miami-Dade County and other counties needs to start working on where are they going to be at in 2060. And a lot of your communities that do not have the resources needs those resources, that if they're going to be here, what is their community going to look like in 2060? Have you already designed that picture of what it's going to look like? Do you know? I don't think Miami-Dade County has even started to look at what is it going to look like. What is your urban planning looking like for 2060, 2050? For all these communities, and we've seen the communities who are going to be the worst, hardest hit because they don't have enough resources to get to that point. So help them design those communities for 2060 and beyond is my advice.
Okay, just a couple of points. I think given everything that we know that's happening now in the housing sector, people are being pushed out of the community. People are out of really all of Florida, and it's compounded because we have now individuals moving from California, moving from New York, moving from high-waged communities. And since the pandemic, you can live anywhere, is what big business has learned, and still be affected. So with that in mind, that means that if wages are not rising in this community, then that's going to be yet another barrier that pushes our local folks out because they cannot afford to live here. So I think we're going to have to do a push on our political figures to figure out a way that they can retain and maintain the folks that are in this community, whether that's increasing wages or insisting that with new housing developments, that developers coming into this market need to do equitable economic development, i.e., any building that you build, X percentage of that building must be made affordable for our local communities. There is a way to do it. There's a way to keep our folks here and then also accommodate the individuals that are moving here. Because whether people are not aware of it, our market is growing exponentially. Right now, I think we are #1 in growth for individuals relocating into this market. But what people did not realize is how much pressure was going to be put on the local market because wages and growth of wages is not keeping up with individuals that are coming into the market earning higher wages. Because when an individual moves here from another community, their pay is not cut. And face it, South Florida is not making New York wages, and South Florida is not making California wages. So that's just one that we can do. David's giving me the signal, but can I also say zoning policy reform? Okay, and I'll leave it at that. Zoning policy reform needs to happen because with our developers, they're also coming in and changing zoning to accommodate all of the individuals that are migrating into the area. So if we do something from that standpoint, that will also help us. Thank you.
Okay, so I'll start with, I'm gonna let Nicole round it up and close it up for us because it's fabulousness. This grant has had an incredible impact on Alapata, on our organization. One of the great things is that we are doubling down on civic education, our training, our Alapata's best advocates. So we've done the youth, we've worked on the businesses, we're starting to work with the elderly. Because an involved and informed community has the most power, especially when they show up to City Hall all with the same t-shirt going, yeah, that's not happening. And they listen. And through this project, we've been able to show our community that they can come together. They are more powerful together. They're like, oh, it's just one more me. No, but if it's you and like 30 people from the church and like, 5 business owners and some students from this, all of you show up, that's not just you. You've amplified your voice and their power. And so again, doubling up with the civic education. But we're also, as part of this, we're also doubling up on the encouraging of entrepreneurship. And not just like tech entrepreneurship, but green entrepreneurship through our small business owners. And we're also looking into be able to grow into the green workforce training. Because everybody, as I said, there's all this funding that's coming. And we have a lot of residents who are ready to work or to make a switch. And so we are looking to be able to help connect them with organizations that are being able to provide that training. Because as some of the research of the students and the faculty, Alapata is quirky in zoning because our residential neighborhood got split in half. Well, not half, like a third. Back in the 70s, they became from residential to industrial. So we have this quirky and unique opportunity available to us now to implement some true resilient changes within our community, and we're really excited about that. So I'm keeping it short,
You're timing it. Okay, So with my time going, I want everybody to go to catalystmiami.org, catalystmiami.org. Please sign up for our newsletter. We need some pointers, help, you know. No. And so just to kind of give you an idea, some of the things that we're doing at Catalyst are, we're doing a lot of things working alongside community to ensure that we have the type of Miami that will sustain generations to come. And so also an invitation is every single month we have something called Miami Our Way, where we center community voice, community needs, all of these things within, we come together. Tomorrow we'll be at Olinda Park at 6 p.m. Please join us, please share that information. And a couple of TED Talks to let you know some of the things that are going on in Overtown. Type in either Overtown or Nicole Crooks and it'll pop up to give you a little bit of information about that. Right now, specifically in Overtown, we have been working together with community to ensure that our 211 bus circulator comes back. It was canceled, and it was one of the dying wishes of one of our Overtown community champions who ended up passing away the day after it was canceled, and we've been fighting for it ever since. And so gratefully, with a lot of pushing, with a lot of advocacy, we will be having a community meeting where community voices will be heard this Friday, along with the Department of Transportation, and also next Friday. We're also working on train the trainer, things like CERT and mental health first aid. So just go to our website, y'all. Stay connected. Thank you. Oh, wait. Can I do a really quick shout out? Okay, so the students are absolutely awesome, and two of the students that helped with the history exchange, Virginia and Io, were absolutely phenomenal, and I could not let this day go by without honoring them and celebrating them, and just, I'm so grateful for the future that you're paving for us. We have hope, and we're gonna get through this, y'all. So thank you.
Alrighty, I know we have a few more community organizations in the audience. Does anyone else want to come up and give their 2 minutes?
Hello, everyone. How are you? Thank you for having me here. My name is Fabian Martinez. I represent a grassroots effort out of Alapata called Esquina de Abuela. It's a property that used to belong to my grandmother. It's her home and her business. She was a revolutionary from Cuba, did revolution, contra-revolution, became a political prisoner, came to Alapata, sold lemons, flowers, tomatoes, bought her home, bought the property next door, and by 70 years old, she was ready to continue working in her neighborhood, blessing Alapata and all of the surrounding neighborhoods, selling secondhand goods and doing upholstery. So, you know, this is definitely a grassroots effort. Eventually, she fell, broke her hip, and the family was going to sell the property. I kept it, and since then, we've brought 98 graffiti artists from around the world. We've had 240 reservations from Airbnb, people that have come from around the world as well, and showing them the beauty of Alapata. Before the Rubels, before El Espacio 23, before Super Blue, we were already there doing a community effort and also lending our space to different members of the community. We were blessed to have Tommy there with his ceremonial flute that he played tonight. He's played it on our land back in 2018. We've had gentlemen like Michael Clarkson, part of Catalyst, part of the climate change, part of Conscious Contractors, always representing TIT. He would come from TIT, Little Haiti, to Alapata. We also have connections with Overtown. The reason I'm here is I lend my voice to Overtown, to an event where I met, these great FIU students. They came to Esquina de Abuela. They interviewed us, and then, as part of that, I'm here as well. We had a gentleman here earlier from France in 2018. He came to Esquina de Abuela. He started taking pictures of not only Esquina de Abuela, Alapata, then he went to Liberty City, Overtown. As he continued through for the next 6 years to come by, he also went into gentrification, and now he's also part of climate gentrification, and he reports a lot of information back to France. So it's a way of connecting. His project's called Miami, not the beaches. So I speak about this because, Esquina de Abuela, we've provided our space to do a lot of good for the neighborhood. We've put 41 murals in 3 elementary schools, Comstock Elementary, Maya Elementary, and Charles Drew K through 8. We've done a lot of amazing things. It's hard for me to tell you everything. It's called Esquina de Abuela. I have stickers. I'll give it to anybody that's interested in knowing more. But we do face challenges. Since 2020, Esquina de Abuela has been for sale 8 times due to we got backed up with our taxes. The taxes went from $6,000 to $24,000. We got backed up on our mortgage. And, I've destroyed my credit to save Esquina de Abuela. I've done everything in my power. But unfortunately, I keep on running into people in Miami that only care about development. And they waste my time, and they just, at the end, make a cash offer to buy the place off of me. That wouldn't be a bad thing to do for myself and my family, but I really love the project that I'm doing. I really love all the people that have been part of it throughout the years, and I want to continue to save it. So as far as speaking about funding, if anybody has a connection to anybody that is honest, that, there's equity in the property that is able to help with funding so we could keep it, so we can, make it the best it can be to continue to serve the community. I'm more interested in serving the community than instead of just selling it off and having somebody put another 8-story building. If in the future we plan to put an 8-story building, it should be an 8-story building for the community. Artist residency, a state-of-the-art cultural center, something of that nature that's still community-based. So, whoever doesn't know about Esquina de Abuela, I welcome you to reach out to me. I could give you a sticker. You could look us up. It's a lot more information, but it's a short period of time. Thank you for all of those that have worked so diligently into making Miami a better place, all those that care about climate. Like I said, rest in peace, Michael Clarkson. He passed away this year. This gentleman died with less than $20 in his bank account. He rode a bike all over Miami, and he blessed this community. So in his honor, I thank you all.
Alrighty. Did I miss anyone else? Beautiful. Alrighty. Now it is my honor to introduce the esteemed and honorable Dr. Valerie Patterson, clinical professor, director of African and Afro Diaspora Studies program, who will gladly come up and close us out.
Wow, the esteemed honorable, I was looking around like, wait. Okay. So, first off, I just want everyone, all of us, to give ourselves a round of applause for this day, for the blessings of this day. I'm not sure whether I understood my assignment, but this is how I interpreted it. so we're gonna roll with it. And so, I took notes the entire day because that's what I do. And this is some of what I heard, right? That every day is a learning day. Every day is a learning day. And we started out hearing that this work, as far as we know, and as far as the count goes, there have been over 100 participants in this work. And I think it goes beyond that. It could be like ×2 or ×3, right? And it was important to know that, Vice Provost Hidehouse started us off with this question, and it kept refraining in my head the entire day, and as I was listening to all of you, where do we want to be? Where do we want to be? And then my own dean, Shlomi Dinar, said something that resonated with me as I thought about this work that we've been doing, and that is that we, as an institution and as a community, this work that we've all been doing together, that we have been training the next generation of global change makers. And I firmly believe that one of the things that I have been most proud of as a faculty member at this institution, and also as someone who grew up in this community and have been here almost 70 years, that what I have been most proud of are the students who we have worked with, and to see the sort of tremendous talent and commitment and energy to this work among our students makes me really proud. So Rich reminded us of the spine of distress, right? And so it's kind of sobering, right, to think about what that means in a community where you've been your entire life. But the refrain has been, where do we go from here? Themes like community as history, memory, right? Community as history, memory, students as continuity resonated with me. So again, next gen change makers are with us and among us. And for those of you who are in my generation and in my mother's generation, it's thinking about, you know, the debt that we owe to the next generation, that we not leave an inheritance that places them in a more vulnerable condition than we have been, right? So from Samuel Tommy, the importance of family bonds, right? And for me, as someone who listens to Bob Marley Tough Gong Radio on a daily basis, einity, the word einity, which extends beyond unity, and if I have not heard anything else from everyone the entire day, is again to reiterate the importance of this understanding that we are all connected together. What Ellie does probably impacts my life, and it could impact the lives of people on the other side of the globe. So we are one family. We need to tune into the vibrations We need to tune into the vibrations. We need to tune into the vibrations. As an elder, even though someone was trying to convince me earlier that I'm not, as an elder, Santa reminded us of the importance of speaking to our elders and calling on and listening to our ancestors. Calling on and listening to our ancestors. So in my art practice, I try to wear an ancestor on a daily basis because I need that. I need that strength, and I need that foundation to get me through. Nicole talked about and reminded us of working in silos and how that has adversely impacted us as a community. But if nothing else has happened in these 4 years that we've been doing this work, we've learned the importance of community, of collaboratory, and how our struggle is a common struggle, right? So that's why we have to move outside of the silos. That's why we have to. Lately, I've been using this language, moving beyond borders, right? Wherever those geographical, longitudinal, latitude, I can't even say it right now, that word, you know what I mean. Beyond those artificial designations that separate us, moving beyond the whole notion of nation states, and understanding what I heard today was that we are all in this together. And the collaboratory is important. Again, from Nicole, whoever tells your story owns your destiny, right? And so, you know, we have been committed in this work to collect the stories, the histories, but also drawing on an argument that Nadej made earlier, ensuring that as we do this collection of histories, that we find a way to make sure that we share the histories and this knowledge in a way that everyone can access it, you know, whether you have a library card, Amazon Prime, or whatever, that everyone can access it. And I'm not sure how much time I've been given, but I wanted to mention my dear colleague, Emel Ganapati, because she mentioned a scholar who, and has been a recurrent theme, hope, having a bias for hope, and possibilism as opposed to despair. Possibilism as opposed to despair, because it is so easy. Trust me, I know. This last week, it has been so easy to try to wallow and allow the despair to consume me, but nah. Because I know my Bahamian immigrant ancestors, and my great, great, great grandmother, who was born in 1845, I know she had to deal with some stuff. And if she was able to survive that, yeah. So again, the realization of the interconnectedness was a theme. Taking from community, but not giving it back, we have to move beyond that, and we've done an excellent job. Thinking beyond borders is so important. Miss Betty told us, and caused me to stop where I was, that Mother Earth would exist much better without us. So heal ourselves first, and then bolster, increase our efforts to heal the environment. I was excited to learn, one more minute, which you just threw me way off, but I'm gonna take the opportunity to say, I always want somebody to stop me at 6 minutes, because then Patria would say, 6 minutes, 6 minutes, 6 minutes. Yeah, thank you. How am I going to end? My sort of takeaway of the event was calling on the woo, and the woo would say cream, right? Except that cream in my case is collaboratories rule everything around me. Thanks to all of you who've joined us on this journey. The struggle continues and the work remains. We are committed, students, please know, we are committed to passing the baton to the next generation. And we also committed to changing how we live, how we work through this endeavor in ways that ensure, as I mentioned before, that it is better for the next gen than it may have been for us. We make this an oath to all of you, especially next generation of community who will be living in this space. So again, thank you to all of you.
Alrighty, thank you, Valerie. Thank you, everyone, so much for your time here today. I think that's everything. Oh, coming soon, I believe November 22nd, we will be having the documentary preview, also here at FIU. More information to come via invitation. Yes. This symposium is supported by the Mellon Foundation, FIU Extreme Events Institute, FIU Center for Community Impact and Public Purpose, FIU Stephen J. Green School of International and Public Affairs, Ruth K. and Shepherd Board Distinguished Lecture Series, and Dorothea Green Lecture Series. Thank you. I'm not reading all of those.